Your surname is the oldest thing you own. Longer than any photograph. Older than any house your family ever lived in. For a great many Irish names, it is 1,000 years old, and it still remembers exactly which kingdom, which clan, and which stretch of Irish soil your bloodline came from. Most people carry that map around their whole life and never learn to read it. So today, we're going to 10 Irish surnames, and the ancient kingdom hidden inside each one. And by the end, one hidden line of DNA that ties millions of them back to a single man. Before the names, you need the code, because Irish surnames aren't random. They're built like a sentence, and once you can read one, you can read them all. That little O, as in O'Brien, isn't an apostrophe and a stray letter. It's the Irish word O, and it means grandson of, or descendant of. Max means son of. So O'Brien doesn't just sound ancient. It literally says, descendant of a man named Brian. And descendant of which Brian? That is the whole game. Because 1,000 years ago, Ireland was not one country. It was a shifting patchwork of Gaelic kingdoms and clans, each ruled by its own dynasty. When fixed surnames took hold, around the 10th and 11th centuries, they froze that map in place. Your name is a fossil of the exact family your ancestors answered to. And here is a detail most people never hear. Ireland was one of the very first places in all of Europe to adopt hereditary surnames, names passed down whole, from generation to generation. While much of the continent still went simply by son of whoever, Irish families were already locking their identity into a single word that would go on to outlive kingdoms, invasions, and empires. And there is a second layer beneath the name, one the clans themselves never knew existed. Written into the Y-chromosome of Irish men is one of the most striking genetic signatures in all of Europe. Hold on to that. By the end, it will tie a huge share of these 10 names back to one ancestor. So let's read the map. 10 names. 10 kingdoms. Number 10. Murphy. In Irish, O Murchada, descendant of Murchad, a name that means sea warrior, or hound of the sea. It is the single most common surname in all of Ireland, and it belongs above all to the Kingdom of Leinster, in the southeast, though today you'll find Murphys in every county and on every continent. Number 9. Kelly, O Seeley. The chiefs of Uí Maine, a powerful kingdom in the west, across what is now Galway and Roscommon. The name carries an old word meaning bright-headed, and, fittingly for a warrior clan, also strife. For centuries, O'Kelly wasn't just a name. On a battlefield, it was a war cry. Number 8. O'Brien, O Brian. And this one is royalty. They descend from Brian Boru, the High King who broke the Vikings' grip on Ireland and died in his tent at the Battle of Clontarf in 1014, at the very moment of his victory. His descendants ruled the kingdom of Thomond, Clare and Limerick, from strongholds like Bunratty Castle, and to this day there is still a recognised O'Brien chief of the name. Number 7. Byrne, O Broin, descendant of Bran, a king of Leinster. When the Normans seized Dublin, the Byrnes fell back into the Wicklow Mountains just to the south, and for 400 years they raided the invaders from the high ground and could never quite be dislodged. Number 6. Ryan, O Riain, rooted deep in Munster, across Tipperary and Limerick. It is one of the great populous names of the Irish South, so common in its home country that whole parishes seem to answer to it. Number 5. O'Neill, O Neil. Remember the DNA I promised you? This is where it begins to land. The O'Neills claim descent from Niall of the Nine Hostages, a high king of the 4th or 5th century. Their dynasty, the Uí Néill, dominated the north, Ulster, for 1,000 years, under a banner you still see today, the Red Hand of Ulster. Here is the moment folklore turns into hard science. The Y-chromosome passes from father to son almost unchanged, which means it travels down exactly the same line as a surname does. So geneticists went looking for surnames written into DNA. And in the northwest of Ireland, they found a single marker, called RM222, at an astonishing concentration. In parts of Donegal and Tyrone, a large share of all men carry it. And it clusters precisely around the surnames of the Uí Néill, O'Neill, Gallagher, Doherty, and their kin. A study out of Trinity College Dublin estimated that millions of men alive today carry this one paternal signature. It does not prove the man in the legend was real. But it proves something almost stranger, that a single male line, from the north of Ireland, was once so powerful, so dominant, that it seeded millions of living descendants. A king, still measurable in the blood, 16 centuries later. And think about what that means for you. If your name is one of the northern ones, an O'Neill, a Gallagher, a Doherty, a Boyle, there is a real, testable chance that the same tiny stretch of DNA that sat inside a warlord 1500 years ago is sitting inside you, right now, passed hand to hand down 100 generations and never broken. You are not simply descended from that history. You are carrying a piece of it. Now the twist, because not every Irish name is what it claims to be. Number 4. Walsh, in Irish, Bretnach. It doesn't name a clan or a kingdom at all. It means, simply, the Welshman, or the Briton. The Walsh arrived with the Norman invasion in the 12th century, a label pinned on outsiders that then spread until it became one of the most common surnames in the entire country. An import that outmultiplied half the natives. And number 3. Doyle, o Dubhale. Take it apart and it means descendant of the dark foreigner, Dub Gaul, the old Irish name for the Vikings. A Doyle is, quite literally, the child of a Norse raider who came, and fought, and then simply stayed. The invader didn't leave. He became the family down the road, and his name is Irish now. That is the real secret hiding inside Irish surnames. They are not a single pure bloodline. They are a running record of everyone who ever arrived on that island, Gael, Viking, Norman, Briton, and never left. Number 2. McCarthy, McCarthay. The kings of Desmond, in the far south, Cork and Kerry. The root, Carthag, means a loving, but there was nothing soft about them. They ruled a third of Munster, and one of their chiefs built a fortress you have almost certainly heard of, Blarney Castle, home of the stone that is said to give the gift of eloquent speech. And number 1. Gallagher, o Galchaber, a name that means, strangely, lover of foreigners, or foreign helper. They were a chief clan of Donegal, in the far northwest, one of the leading families of the Senil Canale branch of the Uí Néill, and one of the strongest carriers alive of that ancient northern DNA marker we just uncovered. Put them all together, and the old map reassembles itself, north, south, east and west, each name a territory, each territory a dynasty. And beneath all of it runs the same deep signature. The overwhelming majority of Irish men carry the ancient Celtic Y marker called a 1B, one of the highest concentrations of it found anywhere on Earth. So here is what your surname actually is. It is the last surviving word of a language of power that ran this island for 1,000 years. It tells you which king your family followed, which corner of Ireland they held, and sometimes, that they weren't Irish at all on the day they arrived. You didn't choose it. You inherited it, unbroken, down a line of people who each handed it to the next, all the way back to a world of kingdoms, and clans, and longships on a grey sea. Your name is the oldest thing you own. And now, you can read it.